Hey, what's up everybody, BDF 44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so Keefe D was arrested for the murder of Tupac Shakur. And I'm trying to figure out why. Granted, he was in the car and maybe he even pulled the trigger, but like, who didn't know that? The whole city has known the story. I mean, maybe outside people didn't know, but the whole story's been understood since that day. Since the day certain gang has been claiming that they did it. They took responsibility for it a couple of days afterward. Now, who paid who to do what, that's a whole nother story. And those are the questions I know they don't want to ask. They're going to try to put it off on this old man after he done lived his whole life outside. he lived his whole life. And now on the end, he's confessing. And he's supposed to be too stupid to know what's going on. No, none of that is real, man. None of that's real. I'm sorry, I'm not buying any of this. People are saying it's a distraction, somewhere around that ballpark. But the reality is there are bigger questions to ask in regards to that case. Bigger questions to ask. And if they're not going to get that information from Keefe D, then he's just a fall guy. That's it. He's a fall guy who was given 27 years of freedom before it was time for him to do his time. And that's exactly how I'm looking at it. And anything that he's been involved in probably been compromised ever since to keep that freedom intact. So I'm not buying. Y'all know how I think. I'm not buying. This is garbage. It's been garbage. Okay, let's just be honest. This has been garbage for a long time. This Tupac Shakur story is trash because we knew what happened that day. He got into it with such and such came back around, spent the block, knocked him off. That is how that went. Now, why those conflicts took place in the first place, that is something a few people I'm sure don't want answered. Why did those people have those confrontations? Who powered up that confrontation in the first place? And don't give me no gang stuff. I ain't trying to hear it. That is not what happened there. No. And so it's some very, very important people that don't want those questions answered, and I'm pretty sure they ain't gonna get answered in this case. But make no mistake about it, that part is understood too around the city. We all know that too. It's just is what it is, man. The reality is it's an election year. And everybody wants everybody either distracted or up in arms about something. The Taylor Swift crap, all these different things, man, all happening at the same time right before the election. I'm not confused. I may not know exactly what I'm looking at, but I know I'm looking at the same old people behind the curtain garbage. And they picked some random September in some random year to want to solve the Tupac case. And I'm just like, man, y'all could have solved that case in 1997. You really could have, and saved a lot of lives if you did. But y'all chose not to. And I'm sure you had very, very good reasons for that. Very, very lucrative reasons for that. So that's my whole thing on that, man. That situation is like, are you serious? Are you serious? This man been free the whole time. Everybody else in the car is dead. Come on now. Let's not do this. let's not even do this. As someone from native from Los Angeles, this is laughable. It really is. The whole case is laughable. The fact they're about to try this old man for this is laughable. When they've known that he's been snitching about on himself, so to speak, for the last 5-6 years. He wrote it in a book 12 years ago. Why didn't you arrest him any of them other time? And you want me to believe that he actually kept bullets from the gun? First of all, how did he even get them bullets? Is it shells that they found? That's information I don't have. But I guess he kept these shells as like a souvenir for what he did, even though he didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? So now you're going to come around and say he was a trigger man? Is that what it is? And what about Orlando? He wasn't the trigger man? What are we talking about? The whole thing is off. Why is the only guy who allegedly did the shooting, Keefe D, alive? Everybody else who apparently was the guy. The driver, everybody, but the trigger man still alive to take the fall 27 years later? Why is he breathing? Everybody else gone. Why he around? Who been protecting him all this time? Sometimes that's just garbage. It's garbage. It's real garbage. And those bullets that they found were probably put in his house. They were probably planted there or placed there strategically so that they can be ultimately found at this time. Get out of here, man. Ain't nobody buying this shit. Fed, whoever that is behind this, y'all gotta do a better job. Because this smells like garbage. It ain't even that good of a cover. It really ain't. So that's what I have to say about that. Irritated about that whole story. I was a 13-year-old, 12-year-old boy mourning Tupac, and now they want to come back around. I'm a 40-year-old man talking about they've solved the murder. When I known everything there was outside that's being said probably since I was 15. Known the story since I was 15. And now they want to start arresting people when I'm 40. Yeah, okay. Got it. Rest in peace, Tupac Shakur, the great MC, strong talent. Got himself wrapped up in some nonsense, and that nonsense had some stuff going on in it that he would have never known about. That's the reality of it. Trying to get involved in that little thing right there, it was way too deep for what he was prepared for as a 25-year-old man. Way too deep. And it's nasty. That whole thing is nasty. Okay? And if they're not going to get it to the root of what caused Keefe D to shoot him, and they're just going to give Keefe D a bunch of years in his 70s to have him die off in jail, believe you me, this case ain't no more solved than it's ever been. It really ain't. It ain't no more solved than it's ever been. They're going to be taking down some very, very nice, successful people if they really want to get to the bottom of that, I believe. Some very successful people. Some people they probably don't want to see in jail at all. Some people who are doing really good right now. So nah, we're not doing that. So yeah, that's my whole thing, man. That's my whole thing on that. I'm rolling my eyes at that. I think most people in LA are rolling their eyes at that. And you know what I mean? It just is what it is. Tupac Shakur died a long time ago. He stood for the right things, but ultimately died for the wrong reasons. Like so many of us out here fighting this war that they only know a bit about as they involve themselves in it so strongly. That's really what it is. There's so many people involved in different things, activities, they don't even really know who's the mastermind behind these wars. A lot of these wars that y'all are still keeping up weren't even done by the people you think it was done by. The initial thing that you thought was being done, was not being done by those people. In a lot of them cases, a whole lot of them cases, they wanted to keep y'all at each other's throats for no damn reason at all. That's the point. If you really want to know, that is the point. To keep y'all at each other's throat for no damn reason. Wrestling around in poverty instead of rising up like Black Panthers. Because that's what they don't want. Anytime we did anything together, they destroyed it. So the best way to destroy us is to infiltrate from the inside out. Get into these neighborhoods, pretend like they doing certain things, leak information through these informants that they ultimately have by the balls, and then ultimately get these wars going. If you know they keep snitches, then you know they can use these snitches to keep wars going, man. How come we ain't smarter than this? That's what bothers me. How come we ain't smarter than this? How many of these people we seen in these circumstances are supposed to be active, find out they snitches and snakes and undercover cops? How many times? How many times? And y'all still believe what it is you see out here? You still believe he shot him? He wasn't he. He was probably an informant. So of course he was going to shoot him. Think about it. These type of things just need to be fathomed, man, and we're not smart enough to do it because we're too busy wrapped up in the culture of hating each other, and we don't realize we got real enemies, real ones who are making a lot of money, who are controlling the environment, who are making sure you can never own these neighborhoods. Not only are you fighting over neighborhoods you don't own, they making sure your ass can't own them neighborhoods. They're making sure of it. And they throw the drugs in there for the ones who are smart enough. They throw the drug in there to keep their minds from thinking about what needs to be done in order to rise themselves out of these circumstances. The smartest ones are the ones that's doped up the most. You think they ain't orchestrated? I'm tired. I'm frustrated. And I'm clear of mind at this point. When I look at all of this stuff, I'm clear as mine. It is warfare against my people. It's warfare against Brown. It's been warfare against us. And they use us to destroy us. That's it, man. The end. That's what it's always been. That's what it's always been. Because if they don't do that, we're smart enough to come around to seeing the nonsense they've been doing. That's it. If you really want to know, spiritual energy in all of these people, we're spiritually inclined enough to see through their bullshit. We have to be clouded of the mind. We have to be drugged up, smoked up, shermed up, in order not to be able to wiggle our way through the bullshit that they've put in place. It's true. That's why the drugs need to be there. The poverty wasn't enough. Keeping us from the books, that wasn't enough. They had to throw something in our heads to make us confused. They had to use our own people by way of the different things that we do and get us by the balls. Oh, don't snitch, but do snitch. You better snitch or we're going to give you in jail for the rest of your life. And then you use those people to do all kinds of evil. That's all it is. That's all it's ever been. And we continue to just keep marching forward, teaching our kids this nonsense. They just as confused as we was, confused as our grandparents was, and it's still the same shit. Enough. At each other's heads, at each other's throat for stuff that don't don't need to be going on. When you know half of this process is compromised, and more than half of it's compromised. You know this. Everybody knows this. So that's my whole take on the Tupac Shakur thing. He was in too deep in some nonsense, and everybody who's involved in this dead except for the fall guy and Suge Knight. That's it. And Suge Knight been spending all his time in jail. His whole thing been just knocked around. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, enough. Enough. They're terrified of black folks when we come together, because not only are we going to help ourselves, we're going to help the people that they look like, that they've been trying to wage war against as well, the poor, their own people, warring against them, making them feel like they know what's going on around them, make them think they know who's around them, and keep them in these mindsets that ultimately make them afraid to have conversations with people that could really help the world in a lot of different ways, if not for the drugs and the bad culture, and ultimately being at war with each other. Get more static from people that look like me. Why? Because the culture that's been infiltrated in our lives for years. Not because it's in their heart to hate me, no more than it would be any other time if we were somewhere else tribalizing against one another. No. This is infiltration. Dedicated infiltration of generational crap. And it's ultimately meant to destroy us from the inside out, and is yet to do so because we keep on multiplying. And even through these wars, we keep on finding ways to slip through the cracks. People like myself end up telling you this. They can't have us all because it ain't meant for them to have us all. God exists. That's the point. All their little plans to destroy the black people, destroy the brown people, you're never going to. You're never going to. It's not meant for us to be destroyed. If it were, we'd be gone already. Keep telling y'all, people want to play God, but they don't understand God. They don't know that he exists, so you can't play God while God is sitting there in the corner watching you do it. But keep playing around. This Tupac crap, just an extension of that. Just one more branch of the same old tree. So I'm telling y'all, if you want to gang, and you are weaponizing against your own, you're just continuing to fight to basically what it is that keeps structure going. The structure that they want it to be going. The money goes a certain place, information goes a certain place, drugs go a certain place, guns go a certain place, you go a certain place. Dead or in jail. That's what they want. That's what they put all this together for. That's what it is. You can war with your brother because he's from another down the street, or because somebody died back in 1986. You can do that if you want to, but don't be confused about why that person died in 86. It's because they want to keep this war going. That's it. BDF 44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.